the Fantasy Reaper. He's coming to fucking take souls, walk all over us, and he is the Cheese Bowl defending champion. Cheers to you, Jesse. Can't take that away from you. Our inaugural season, you were nice enough to commission it, and you won it all. Good for you. Now we're in our second year. I'm looking at your team. I see some weak spots. I see some strong spots. Kirk Cousins, man. Stepping up. Doing the fucking thing, man. Captain Kirk is fucking gnarly this year. I believe in him way more than I ever believed in him as a Redskin, man. Because proof being in the pudding, you never really thought the Redskins were a playoff team. Which is fucking crazy because they play in the NFC East, which is like the AAA of baseball. The NFC East, I mean, I hate it. I hate it because I'm a New England fan and somehow some shitbag team like the fucking Giants sneaky fucking way in because they got the number one spot in the NFC East, which is like winning the gold medal in the fucking Special Olympics. And then they beat the fucking Patriots twice. I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. We're all friends here. And this is fantasy football. Jesse is one of the best fantasy players I've ever had the pleasure to play with. No homo. You got Jarvis Landry, who is, I think, one of the league's premier receivers. Hopefully gets some kind of advantage from playing with Baker Mayfield, but for fuck's sake, the guy just, he has the play of the game every game and just is not putting up the numbers, man. I mean, okay numbers, 17, 12, 22, 13, and 12. He's underperformed 2 out of 6 weeks, and his overperformances aren't by much. You know, as far as fantasy goes, I hope it stays that way, and I just know you're not going to deal him for anybody, you know, because he's a Miami guy and you're a Miami guy, so you know what you're doing. You're going to hang on to him. Good for you. I respect that. I think he went like the, 5th round, 4th round for us, so I mean, good for you. It's just really hard when you're in Cleveland, you know. There's not a whole hell of a lot of talent there. There is now, but the fact of the matter is, the coaching staff still doesn't even believe that they're good. It's just like, holy shit, are we actually capable of winning a fucking game for the first time in 3 years? It's like they don't know how to write a play because they're so used to losing and being such dog shit, you know? I get it. You trade Josh Gordon for basically the equivalent of trading a bar 5 for a white ticket at Cheesecake. You trade him for nothing. You trade him for literally nothing. A couple draft picks, and if he doesn't play 10 games in New England, they get one of their picks back. I mean, Cleveland just really makes me want to cry. I mean, Cleveland can make the baby Jesus cry with how poorly they run a fucking team. I mean, was their owner Hitler in a past life or something? I mean, what God is punishing them so mercilessly that they just cannot fucking get it together? Josh Gordon is a premier athlete. I mean, my goodness, and you let him go to the New England Patriots? I mean, I'm happy about it. His performance has been a little mediocre so far. He had a huge play that went right through his fingertips. In the last game, that would have been a 60-yard catch. That would have really catapulted his value. That's a play that Josh Gordon will make later on this year. The fact that he even got his hands on the ball, it wasn't a greatly thrown ball. It was more of a great play by Gordon that he couldn't finish, less than a bad Brady throw. So Jarvis Landry, good pickup, but, you know, really not fitting the bill this year. Melvin Gordon, fucking rock on, man. You got to take him if he's available where you were in the draft. And the guy's an absolute stud. He's a monster. He's a workhorse. He's not an injury threat. He's not a terribly amazing runner, to be completely honest with you. But the fact of the matter is he has Phillip Rivers for a quarterback. So these dink and dunks, they're going to happen. The guy is going to be under pressure from time to time. The San Diego or Las Vegas or Los Angeles, whatever the fuck they are right now, they've built a system around Phil Rivers, which is good for him. You know, you got to protect a guy that has provided your team with so many good years and so many great performances and always making them a competitive team. I mean, for all their shortcomings, you can't blame Phil Rivers for any of it, to be honest. So, good on them for protecting Phil Rivers. But they're, as far as a pass catching back, I mean, we're looking at, if he can do this for 2 or 3 more years, you're looking at Le'Veon Bell value. The guy doesn't get hurt. He's not in trouble. He doesn't do anything stupid outside of the field. He's an upstanding community man that has a tremendous career ahead of him. I love Melvin Gordon. It's really great to see him doing what he's doing. I wish he was doing it on a different fantasy team in this league, but again, good on you, Jesse, for taking him. We've got Joe Mixon. You know, that's a volume thing. He's really not that amazing as far as athleticism goes, you know. He's a number 2 guy on a lot of teams. He's really, you know. But volume speaks volumes. You know, that's why I drafted Carlos Hyde like a fucking asshole. I wouldn't call myself an asshole for drafting him because he's had a couple good games, but you do it for the floor, not the ceiling at that point. You know, once you have a Melvin Gordon, you just want a guy that can put up 10 points consistently outside of that. And that is definitely what Mixon's good for. He puts up more than that, though. He's putting up some good numbers. Good pick, good draft. Evan Ingram, O.J. Howard, and Trey Burton. Jesse, come on, man! How are you going to have 3 tight ends? Now, this is just coming off your post, who wants one of my tight ends? I mean, nobody's going to take fucking Trey Burton out of those 3. You know, Bears look like they're on the... They looked like they were on the up until they fucking got waxed by your fucking bum-ass Dolphins. I mean, they ended up winning the game, but number 1 defense gave me -3 and almost cost me my game against Mike Griffin, which, at that point, fucking kill me. But it didn't happen. But, you know, they made that Bears defense look bad. I mean, Miami is far from a good team. You got to admit that. Your breakout player on the team is Kenyon Drake, and he hasn't done shit all year. They're making fucking Tannehill look good. It's an anomaly how they've looked relatively relevant at this point in the year. Good for you on your fantasy team, but your football team in the NFL is fucking garbage. Miami Dolphins won't make the playoffs. If you think they will, oh man, sucks for the rest of us because God loves retards. So if you think the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs, you're so stupid. God might actually give you the cheese bowl just so you don't off yourself. I say that, and you know, I'm the resident fucking suicide risk out of everyone, so I can make these jokes. That being said, let's go on further with your lineup. Oh, who's this at your flex? Mark Ingram. How does Jesse have Mark Ingram? How is that possible? I'll tell you how. Because with Mike D's draft, he doesn't deserve to win a fucking game, so I let him get raped. Was it really rape? Stephon Diggs is a pretty... Yes, it was. Mark Ingram should have gotten you Adam Thielen. Mark Ingram should have gotten you Keenan Allen. Mark Ingram should have gotten you something more than Stephon Diggs, my dude. Jesse's got Mark Ingram. Guy's going to put up 20 fantasy points every fucking week. Even when Kamara puts up 20, Ingram's going to put up another 20. Because Kamara's going to do all the... And Ingram's going to come in and vulture the touchdown. It's going to happen. Happened all year last year. They put up 50 points together. One put up 30, the other one put up 20, or they both put up 25. It was never like one put up 35 and one put up 15. No, they're fucking equals on that team. And one of the best offensive teams in football that has one of the best wide receivers in football that opens up the run game and establishes the run game. Drew Brees being able to have two top-end running backs walking them like fucking pit bulls extends his career to the point where Tom Brady's never going to hit his yards or touchdowns. He's going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and he's going to play well. He's going to play into his 40s because he's got these two fucking dogs and he's just walking into the end zone every fucking game. And then, God forbid, they can't run. Michael Thomas. Jesse has Mark Ingram. Mike D's #1 pick. Jesse has. I'm okay with it. This is Jesse and I. Hey, Chappie. Jesse and I were two great fantasy football players, and that's where the fantasy ends, you know? Because this is our fantasy life where we're good at something, you know? Guys like me and Jesse, we like to think that our life doesn't suck because we make a little bit of money at work and we have a hot girl to go home to and fuck every night. But our real lives aren't that great. That's why we're so good at fantasy football. Because instead of planning real life cool shit, we're up at 4:45 in the morning picking up whoever didn't get picked up on waivers on Wednesday morning. The worst fantasy player in this league actually has the best life, which makes sense, and that's Trey. Oh, Trey. Wow, I stand corrected. Malcolm's last place. Holy shit, I thought it was you, Trey. Oh, fuck. Fucking Malcolm. Jesus Christ, that sucks. We'll get to you later, Malcolm, but I won't spend too much time on you because you might actually be the nicest person in this league, and God just fucking hates you, and you suck at drafting. Let's look. You know, looking at it, Trey doesn't have a bad team, man. Trey's got a pretty good team for a 1-5 guy. You got Jared Goff at quarterback. No, we don't really have to go too much into that. Clearly, he has the weapons outside of a tight end, but you know, great quarterback. You got Odell Beckham, who is like a world-class piece of human garbage, like total piece of shit. Dickhead, distraction, asshole, a horrible team, but he is one of the lone bright spots. So Odell Beckham, that's great to have. You got Tyler Boyd. Guy's putting up 20-something points every game. I don't know where the fuck this guy came from. This is like, Trey looks like a high school football coach, and I always wondered how he can afford like home and like afford to just work like day shifts at Cheesecake Factory and give up half of them and still have money and look happy all the time. I started thinking maybe he was a priest at his other job with all the rookies and young men on his team. But that being said, you know, one of the bright spots, you know, you draft enough shit and you have enough faith in rookies, you're bound to hit on one of them. So, Tyler Boyd, man, good pick. We're looking at, what's he overall? He's number 49th ranked overall, and that includes, you know, defenses and quarterbacks and stuff. So 49 overall, that's pretty impressive. I would venture, I guess he might be in the top 20. as far as wide receivers go. So that's a good pickup, man. That's pretty fucking solid. Good for you on Tyler Boyd. Fuck. Un momento, por favor. Then you got Philip Lindsay, who I love, very high on this guy, and it really it righted the wrong when you drafted Royce Freeman. Man, that guy is a fucking bum. I mean, Denver just sucks in general this year. Let's be honest. In my Outback League, I drafted Demaryius Thomas 5 out of 6 years. This was the first year I didn't draft DT. I drafted him in our league. I was happy, that I got to have him in at least one league. And as far as Denver goes, the depth chart has always been very firmly DT number 1, Emmanuel Sanders number 2. With this fucking guy, Case Keenum, Emmanuel Sanders is having like a career resurgence. He's like hands down the number 1 guy there in Denver. Demaryius Thomas, I don't know what happened to this guy, and R.I.P. man. Fucking DT was always a staple on my fantasy teams. I always loved watching the guy play. He's just a nice guy. He's a family guy. His mom loves him. You want to root for the guy. Always just looks like he's having a good time out there on the field, but the son of a bitch can't catch a fucking ball to save his life this year. And you can blame it on Case Keenum. And some of it you can. And I'm talking about especially, I forget who they were playing. Kansas City. They were playing Kansas City. They could have given Kansas City the first loss if Case Keenum hit Demaryius Thomas, who had a beautiful inside route. You hit him in stride. That's a catch he makes 100 times out of 100. Even with his drop problems, there's no way he would have dropped that pass if it was pass better. It was behind him and probably soared 10 yards past the out-of-bounds line. So that's not on him. But it's really looking like, his career numbers really benefited from having Peyton Manning as his quarterback, because, man, he made it look easy. Peyton Manning will throw you a fucking ball you're running, you don't even realize it's just in your hands, And Case Keenum's just definitely not that guy. Certainly Brock Osweiler wasn't that guy, and none of the other 4 fucking assholes that started football games as quarterback for Denver last year made him look any better either. So you're looking at a shit Denver offense. You took a risk on a rookie running back. Horrible mistake, but at least you were smart enough to pick up Philip Lindsay. He's a bright spot on a really shit team. I think by the end of the year, he's probably putting up 20 points a game. He's doing right now, what are we looking at here? From week 1, 18, 13, 19, 14, 18. Guy's putting up solid numbers, man. He's not quite elite because he's in a 3-man running back by committee, which, hello, Denver. Your other running backs are trash. Patrick Lindsay is the future of the running game there. He is like a Kevin Falk or a Shane Vereen or James White. I'm sorry to just use all New England guys, but these are guys that turn third down back careers into elite running back careers. Just look at Alex's team. He's got James White. James White is putting up 20 points a game. It's fucking crazy. And he's done it year in and year out. Just like all of Brady's third down backs. Vereen and Falk did also. These are guys that they're not the number 1 guy, but they are the guy to own in fantasy. So Patrick Lindsay, great pickup. Trey, good for you. Your team sucks, but you have some bright spots there with Beckham, Goff, and Lindsay. Outside of that, your team is pretty bad. You even had to stoop so low as to picking up Jamal Charles. Man, Wouldn't it be great if that worked out for you? He's not Adrian Peterson. He's a guy that can't stay healthy. Here's a guy that I especially fucking hate because he's done nothing but fuck me in my asshole. Literally, fist in, hand open, stretch out the inside of me and rip my heart out and pull it through my fucking asshole. Jamal Charles. 6 years ago, my first Bonzer Bowl Outback League, I went 13-1. And I was the victim of the Jamalacost. I went into the fucking game before the championship up by 50 points. And I lost by 7 because Jamal Charles put up 385 all-purpose yards and 5 touchdowns and shredded me for 58 fucking points. The next year I had him, he got injured in the first game of the fucking season. It was never the goddamn same. He's only lived to fuck me. So fuck Jamal Charles. And Trey, I'm happy your team sucks because you rostered him and you fucking deserve it. That being said, you also have Carson Wentz. I love that you got the 2 quarterback stack. I'm really a big fan of that. A lot of fantasy football experts will say that wasting a roster spot on a second quarterback is stupid because you could always pick up a Joe Flacco or a Dak Prescott or a Blake Bortles on a flyer. What if somebody gets fucking hurt, bro? I don't want to pick up Blake Bortles and run him for 5 fucking weeks. So good for you for trusting in the 2 quarterback system because I believe in it very fucking firmly. And that's a veteran move that I appreciate. Cheers to you on the 2 quarterback stack. Your team still sucks, though. You won't make the playoffs. Speaking of teams that won't make the playoffs, I'm going to make this brief because I really fucking like this guy. He's like one of the nicest guys ever. Really good person to work with. Great bartender. Nice person. Funny. Serious bro. And he's rostering my favorite player in the NFL, Josh Gordon. Malcolm. Cheers to you for rostering Josh Gordon and starting him. Cheers to you. Let's look at the rest of your team. Matt Ryan. Pretty steady floor. Dart throw. Could put up 50, could put up 15. He won't ever have like a sub-10 game. Julio's really fucking his career up though. And I mean, do you just have a boner for people that like to be hurt? Last year, you were victimized by playing against teams that had their best week every time they play you, and my heart went out for you, Malcolm. I swear my heart went out for you. This year, you decided to draft Jameis Winston, Greg Olsen, Devonta Freeman, Chris Thompson, and Josh Gordon. More than half of your team is players that have never finished a full season. Greg Olsen has bones made out of glass. This guy can trip over the 20-yard line. The only thing receding more than his fucking career is his hairline. Drafting Greg Olsen is a sucker's game because you got to do it before the 6th round, and he isn't worth drafting before the 10th. I'm taking my second quarterback before I'm taking Greg Olsen. I'm taking Greg Zuerlein before I take Greg Olsen. If I'm being completely fucking honest with you, because Greg Zuerlein is going to put up more points throughout the year than Greg Olsen is. Devonta fucking Freeman, dude, I know you're an Atlanta Falcons fan. I get it. The guy is in a committed 50-50 running back by committee. This is not Devonta Freeman from 4 years ago that people were dropping for a kicker, and then he blew up for 38 points and then did 30, 40, 25, 25, 20, 30, 35, 40. This isn't the same Devonta Freeman, dude. Come on. How the fuck do you draft him? You cannot draft Devonta Freeman. I made the mistake last year in the Cheese Bowl, and you know what? I got lucky enough to dump him off to Alec and get Melvin Gordon out of it, but I also had to give up Michael Thomas. Fucking Devonta Freeman, dude. What are you thinking, man? Devonta Freeman, come on, man. He is in a locked-in 50-50 with Tevin Coleman. And it's not a 50-50 Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram situation. You're looking at times where this team is only going to put up 17 points in a game. Only one of them is going to get a touchdown, and the other one's going to do all the work to get him there. You're looking at Devonta Freeman putting up 100 non-touchdown yards, and Tevin Coleman putting up 20 yards and a touchdown, and then both having the same fucking day, fantasy-wise. Except, here's the difference. You could get Tevin Coleman in the 6th round. Devonta Freeman, you got to take in the 2nd. I don't feel bad for you this year, Malcolm, because ill-advised on Greg Olsen, ill-advised on Devonta Freeman. I mean, you just drafted bad, dude. This was not your year. I'd hang it up now. Maybe start trying to make some wild trades. You know, take a big name like an Antonio Brown, try to get 2 little guys, hope one of them blows up. You got to start building your season with trades now, man, because this lineup is not bringing you to the playoffs, dude, and it might bring you to last place. Probably not. Trey's team is really bad. I think he has a worse team than you. Actually, I don't know. I'm looking at your team, and holy smokes, dude. I mean, 5 years ago, this is a great team. Matt Ryan, Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon, Jordy Nelson, Greg Olsen. These are guys that 5 years ago are leading you a championship. Right now, they're leading you to the slaughter, dude. You're getting your ass whooped every week. Start working the waiver wire. Get in the chat room, Malcolm. Where the fuck are you? Resident stand-up comic, which is usually me everywhere else I go. Here, it's you. You're the guy still working. You're still the guy with the silver tongue. You're still the guy doing Bobby Brown. You're doing those videos, but you're not in the group chat. Malcolm, where the fuck you at, Malcolm? Come on, man! Speaking of other bad teams, I really hate to bring it up, man, because this is my best friend from Outback, Franklin. My OB brother, Franklin Ventura, my boy, my brother, my best friend, everything in the world to me outside of my girlfriend and my dog. Man, it's like you're not even trying here, man. You're finally going to make an Outback playoffs for the first time. So now you're just like not giving any love to your cheesecake team, man, because the only thing I've seen you do is snipe Ed Dickson from me, who isn't going to play for another 2 weeks, but I'm still pissed off about. Cheers to you for getting Ed Dickson. I need a refresher. So now let's look at Franklin's team. Why is Franklin's team doing so bad? Why is he in the bottom of the league with Trey and Malcolm?